Gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go. We're gonna get ready to rock and roll. Oh man, it is the Outcast Racing League Championship night here from Daytona International Speedway as these drivers will get ready to rock and roll. They will get ready to go to battle here this evening. Oh man, this is going to be a lot of fun, chat. This is going to be such a great race tonight. We will crown the champion of the 7th season here on the Outcast Racing League as these drivers are going to get ready to rock and roll. They're going to get ready to go to battle here in just a few more moments as we'll get ready to go through our starting lineup here on the evening as these drivers get ready to rock and roll out there on the racetrack. What in the world's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on with my monitor? What in the world? What's happening, chat? What is going on?
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Let's go! Woo! All right, let's go. Let's get pumped. James coming in there. I didn't know what was going on. The monitor just went crazy right there. That was absolutely wild. But we are ready to rock and roll here as these drivers start to roll out onto the racetrack. We get ready to go through our starting lineup. And starting on the pole in the number 19 machine, one of our championship 8 here this evening is CJ Jeffries there in that pole position. To his outside, Anthony Garland in P2 with Mike Killingbeck and Cameron Combs there in 3rd and 4th. Al Reed, Johnny Thunders, our top 6, James Garland, and Chris Muse there bringing up row number 4. Kurt Sponsler, Wayne Garland rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway with David Duran Jr., one of our championship hopefuls, starting back in 11th. Daryl Whitford, Austin Smith, Brandon Puffenbarger, Corey Crowell, Lance Brantlinger, Joshua Neal, Adolfo Castillo, Casey Gross, Chad Lancaster, our top 20 out here on the starting grid, and bringing up the rear of the field in the 16, it is Gary Wright as these drivers are going to get ready to rock and roll. They're going to get ready to go to battle here on the evening as the pace car will make that hard left-hand turn back down pit side, and we will get ready to set these drivers loose for our championship race here from Daytona International Speedway. The Outcast Racing League finale is live here this evening as quickly the green flag is upon us in the 19 ride of CJ Jeffries onto the loud pedal here as he is going through the gears looking for a good shove early on from the 70 ride of Mike Killingbeck. As these drivers still door-to-door here coming out of corner number 2. They're going to drag race down this back straightaway, but some drivers may try to play it a little bit easier here. See a few drivers see that number 84 ride. Looks like he's going to try to slide to the back here. Went down to the apron, going to the rear of the field. Looks like the 51 ride. It's one of our championship drivers. The 51 machine is David Duran Jr. doing the same thing, playing it a little bit safer here, going towards the back of the pack as out in front, door-to-door, down through the dry oval. Looks like the 15 rider Cameron Combs will lead lap number 1 here on the evening. So Cameron Combs leading lap number 1 here today as he is out in front. He's door-to-door with the Outcast Racing League number 81 of Anthony Garland. Now, as we talked about strategy there during the opening lap, drivers going to the rear of the field here. That is a big play here from Daytona International Speedway. Such high speed, such big momentum, and when you get these drivers into a big pack, and all it takes is one wrong push, one wrong shove at the wrong time, and it can cause the big one. We've seen numerous big ones, huge wrecks here on the simulator and here in real life at Daytona International Speedway. So to kind of hang out towards the back of the pack, be able to get yourself out of a jam if you're able to put the binders on, get stopped before getting into an accident, or being able to just find your way through it with enough time, and after everyone else is done wrecking in front of you, trying to save your car, save your equipment for late in this race. And each of these drivers will have one quick repair, so they can come down pit side, they can put that quick repair in, and they can get back out onto the racetrack. But if you use that up early, Getting another wreck late in this race, it could take you out of an opportunity to pick up that championship. And talking about our championship, we have 8 drivers. 8 drivers in the field here this evening that are going to be looking to try to pick up that championship here tonight. We'll take a quick look right here. So CJ Jeffries, David Duran Jr., Chris Muse, Lance Brantlinger, Corey Crowell, Mike Killingbeck, Al Reed, and Anthony Garland. Those are our championship 8. They are the ones who are battling for the win, battling for that championship here this evening. Now, they don't need to necessarily win the race. All they have to do is finish 1 spot in front of everybody else. All they got to do is finish in front of every other top 8 driver here, or the other 7 in there. So if Corey Crowell comes home in 3rd, but none of our top 8 other than him are above that 3rd place finish for him, then he will be crowned our champion, and so forth for all the other drivers. All they gotta do is win the race through those top 8 cars right there. That's all they gotta do. Everybody else can race and pick up the win. That doesn't matter, but you gotta be there at the end to be able to survive and to be able to put yourself into that championship contention. As right now, CJ Jeffries at the front of the field here, one of our championship drivers. He's not waiting around here. He's at the front of the field. Feels like this is the other safest place to be. If you can be out in front, you can try to avoid a lot of wrecks, a lot of carnage here by keeping yourself at the front of the field. He's got Mike Killingbeck, another championship driver, right there on his back bumper as well. So we're gonna see these drivers kind of, jostling around, going back and forth out there on the speedway, and it's going to make things very interesting to see who's going to be helping who out there when it comes down to the very end of this race, as there's a lot of teamwork, a lot of teammates out there that may help and may decide to leave other drivers high and dry late in the race to help out their teammates in their opportunity to pick up a championship. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very interesting to see what each and every one of these drivers can do here tonight, to see who's gonna pick up the championship, man. It's gonna be wild. I think it's going to be an absolutely amazing race, and I hope you guys stick around and have fun all evening long watching these drivers compete, watching these drivers battle out there on the racetrack, as at any moment in time, something crazy could happen out there on the speedway and take them out of contention or possibly ruin their championship run here after, we've ran, 15, 16 absolutely amazing races already in this season, and these guys have continuously came in week after week after week, put on some amazing shows for us, amazing races. They've worked, they've sweat, they bled, they've done everything they could to put themselves into this position to try to pick up this championship, and to have a wreck happen, take them out of it, or anything else is definitely going to make things very, very frustrating for a lot of them, as I do believe all of the drivers with I was going to say all the drivers with the yellow banners are part of the playoffs, but Corey Crowell doesn't have the yellow banner on his ride. We know Corey is part of that championship 8. We know David Duran Jr. is as well. He also doesn't have the yellow banner, so I thought maybe that's how we would distinct the 2 out of the playoff drivers, the non-playoff drivers. So that one will be a bit of a guess all evening long. As Taylor Made Mama says, go Jeffries, number 19. Imain Hanzo says, yo, what's good? What's good, Imain? How are you? Hopefully you're doing well. Taylor, hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day as well. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys do me the favor, smash that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button here on the broadcast, and cheer these drivers on. Jump up into the comment section. Let us know who you're cheering for, who you want to see up here in victory lane. Is CJ Jeffries with that share on the broadcast. Joshua Neal coming in with that share as well. And Marie Davis coming in with that heart reaction, and Crystal Jeffries coming in with the heart reaction on the broadcast here as well here on the evening. As already some great racing, a little bit of more door-to-door out there on the racetrack. I know as much as these drivers want to try to play it safe, try to survive out there, they still want to be towards the front of the field. These guys don't want to lose. They don't want to be hanging out, riding at the back of the pack. They want to be up there running and racing for each and every single one of these wins. They don't want to be hanging back or anything else, as you do see Adolfo Castillo jump up and take that race lead away for the Little Caesars number 31 machine, as Chad Lancaster right there behind him in that Land and Sea NSB number 02 machine, as he rolls there in that second spot on the speedway, having himself a good run so far here this evening, as they were able to get some good pushes and work themselves to the front of the field. CJ Jeffries right there behind him is Mike Killingbeck back in position number 4. Then you see to his outside the 81 of Anthony Garland, looking for some pushes, looking for some help, trying to get that 81 ride to the front of the field here. He's got James Garland right there on his back bumper. Beautiful new looking paint scheme there for Mr. James Garland out there on the racetrack. That car's looking fresh out there on the speedway. It's hard to see under full speed, but it's a beautiful looking race car right there, as Killingbeck going to slide back a couple spots as the outside lane, making some heyday, making some ground up here, as they're going to go door to door, and it looks like Anthony Garland will be our new race leader as he takes that race lead away from the 31 ride. He quickly drops down low and drops in front of the 31 ride, so to the point for the 81 machine of Anthony Garland. Now you see Killingbeck jumping out of line. He's going to go to the back bumper here of that 37 of James Garland. So Garland now getting shoved here by the 70 ride. Mike trying to push him up towards the front of the field, getting a great shove down this back straightaway as they are locked together down into quarter number 3. They're going to go door to door here, and Anthony Garland, James Garland, 1 and 2 here on the speedway, as a great run through 3 and 4. Looks like 37 ride and maybe the 70. Yes, the 70 ride of Killingbeck will slide right in there as well. So the outside lane showing a lot of speed right now. Little 2-3 car battles, and they're able to work themselves up into the front of the field. So definitely some great work, some solid driving there by these drivers using that outside lane. As oh, look out, Gary Wright going from the high side, just barely finding a hole down low right there. He was just able to get a gap in the quick trip number 16 machine, as he almost went right over the nose there of Johnny Thunders, as Thunders back in position number 8. Al Reed there in 9th. We see Kurt Sponsler rounding there in the 10th position. Brandon Buffenbarger trying to work, trying to build some momentum there to his outside, as you got Cameron Combs right there as well. Chris Muse back in position number 13 on the speedway here. One of our championship drivers hanging out a little deeper in the field, just trying to play it safe, keep that car in one piece. Is right there behind him, Darrell Whitford in that number 21 ride, rolls there in 14th. He's got Austin Smith right there behind him in the DraftKings number 23 machine. Corey Crowell, another one of our championship drivers in the Midwest Sim Sports number 20 ride. The Midwest Motorsports ride there in 16th, as Joshua Neal, Casey Gross right there behind him is that Syndicate Motorsports Peacemaker Gaming 77 ride, rolls there in the 18th position. Lance Brantlinger, David Duran Jr., and Wayne Garland bringing up the rear of the field. But you take a look here at David Durant Jr. He's had some great speed, some great runs here the last few weeks, and able to put himself into this championship battle. And you know, he's right there in this championship fight. Him and Brantlinger are both in this top 8 for the championship. So the 51, the 8 ride, looks like the 20 of Corey Crowell, Chris Muse, all kind of playing a little bit safer here. Even look back, you see Al Reed running, mid-pack right there at about the 9th position. That's kind of a dangerous spot to be, but out in front, you see Mike Killingbeck, Anthony Garland, both right there, both ready to pounce, both ready to try to pick up this championship. So Anthony and Mr. Killingbeck both right there at the front of the field. I mean, yeah, CJ Jeffries into that fight as well. They're in the 6th position, but actually looks like the top 2 starting to split away from the rest of the field here. I didn't realize we were going tandem racing again at super speedways, but somehow or another, these two continue to work together, and they're actually out to a massive, massive lead. Now, the big question is going to be if they end up breaking the draft off with each other or anything else, the rest of the field could come up and catch them in a quick hurry and go around them and leave them in the dust here. So we'll have to wait and see if this number 81 rider who does find a lane, he's going to jump and take a look to the outside. Does that bring the rest of the field up here to the outside lane with them? Looks like for the most part, a lot of these drivers are going to jump up there. They're going to try to side draft a little bit here off that 70 ride, but doesn't look like they made any ground right there through 3 and 4 with that big momentum that the 81 ride was holding. I thought they were definitely going to try to blow right on by this 37 and the 70 ride of Mike Killingback, but man, they are absolutely hooked up here on the evening. Two very fast cars here tonight, man. These two cars are very, very quick, very fast. To be able to put down the pedal and be able to hold these guys back, and just the 2 times that we've seen them already just walk away from the field here has been absolutely insane. These guys have been doing a great job at the front of the pack. So James Garland and Mike Killingback looking very primed here on the evening. But here you go. Here comes that second lane starting to work themselves towards the front of the field. Ooh, baby! They're starting to work themselves up towards the front here as these drivers putting on a heck of a show for us. And this has been a lot of fun. This race has already been pretty crazy. We've seen some pretty big runs, some pretty big moves out there on the speedway. And now you see Johnny Thunders looking to the outside of the 37 rider. James Garland is the second row. This is all a team here on the outside lane. 4 drivers all teamed up. They are all working together here, looking to see if they can put themselves and maybe a couple of their drivers in to that championship run here on the evening. Is the I believe this is the Elite Sim Racing team right there. That is the Elite Sim Racing machines there of Johnny Thunders, Al Reed, Kurt Sponsler, and Cameron Combs in that outside lane here. So teamwork making the dream work out there on the racetrack as Killingback and James Garland on the same team. They were right there at the front of the field for quite a little while on the bottom side here. They also got Chris Muse as part of their team there as well, the Coast to Coast Racing. Then we got the procrastinators with Wayne Garland, Lance Brantlinger, David Duran Jr., who are hanging out a little farther in the field. Then Corey Crowell, Austin Smith, Joshua Neal, and Brandon Puffenbarger, all in the Midwest Motorsports crew. So a lot of different teams, a lot of different drivers helping each other out there on the racetrack as Adolfo Castillo, Anthony Garland, Casey Gross, Chad Lancaster, all part of the Syndicate Motorsports out there on the speedway. They're trying to work together down here on the bottom side of the racetrack. And unfortunately for our one lone wolf really out there on the racetrack, Mr. C.J. Jeffries, his team could not make it here this evening. He is a lone wolf out there on the racetrack. We talked about it the last couple weeks during these races where he's been trying to, find some teammates maybe to help work with them, maybe get them out here for tonight. Doesn't look like anyone was able to really make it out, but he's been trying to make some friends, trying to race really nice, really clean over the last few weeks to see if he can try to, find some friends here late in the race. Maybe someone will help him out. Maybe they won't leave him high and dry, and to wait and see how that plays out as we do see James Garland head down pit side to the 37 ride. I'm not sure if this is a scheduled or unscheduled pit stop, but he comes down pit road. Oh, baby, this is going to mix things up quite a bit for that number 37 ride as he heads down pit side. As Eric, my boy Eric, coming in, showing the love with the heart reaction. Casey Gross coming in, showing the love as well with the big heart here on the broadcast. Cody McCoy, my boy McCoy, coming in, showing the love with the like and the share as well, as we do see this 37 machine roll back out onto the speedway. So this is going to be interesting. A little bit of strategy here. I didn't think we'd see much strategy be played out here on the evening, but already the 37 ride down pit side. So we're supposed to have stage break at lap 20, lap 40, and then the rest of the race. So there you go as the race leaders head down across the line. Anthony Garland going to pick up the first stage win here of the evening, but there's no points on the line, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't matter how many stage points you get or anything else. The stages here tonight are maybe for a regular season championship or for championships for the team aspect, as there's team points as well for our team championships. But this is going to make things very, very interesting. We saw the 37 ride head down pit side, and already we see Killing back down pit road, Gary Wright down pit side as well. So I wonder if drivers were cutting it close on fuel here. Maybe they can't quite go that 20-lap distance because we saw these guys have to come down pit side, where we saw Killingbeck, James Garland very hard on their throttle here early in this race. And Gary Wright as well. We saw Gary put down the throttle quite a bit as well. And I don't know. We may see some interesting racing here as we do see more drivers head down pit side. And I do believe, there you go. You see the 0-2 ride. Oh, he had to back her up. He misses pit stall here. A bit of a mistake right there. Luckily enough, we are under the yellow flag for the Landon C NSB 0-2 ride of Mr. Lancaster as Adolfo Castillo, CJ Jeffries, Anthony Garland, all down pit road as well. So, interesting turn of events here with fuel becoming an issue on the evening. That'll make things very, very interesting here throughout the night, especially when it comes to that final stage when these drivers have 50 laps or 60 laps of racing here. Actually, 50 laps after this next stage. So they should be able to cruise here, get some fuel before the end of, or before the restart here of this competition caution and the end of stage number 1. They should be able to make it to stage number 2 without any issues, unless we see some caution flags. That could also be an issue, but they should be able to make it to the end of stage 2 without needing fuel. But then when it comes to our final run, man, they're going to have to make maybe at least 2 pit stops. I'm assuming at least 2 pit stops here on the final stage of the day. As now you see the rest of the field head down pit road. Al Reed, Kurt Sponsler, everybody else headed down pit side here. So a little bit of strategy, a little bit of good work out there on the speedway, and we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out for each of these drivers. As Hamiltron coming in, dropping that follow over on the Twitch channel. How are you, Hamiltron coming in, showing the love, smashing that follow button over on that Twitch broadcast. As we're going to take a quick look here at our sponsor over at Landon C NSB, as our good friend over there, Mr. Let's see if we can find Mr. Lancaster right here. Where did he just disappear? There he is. The Landon C NSB 02 ride. Chad Lancaster jumping on board here as one of our sponsors for the season. We will take a quick look at the commercial we got here for the Landon C NSB. As we're going to get ready to go back, the Green Flag Racing drivers making additional stops down pit side, making sure they get these cars absolutely filled with fuel. See Anthony Garland, Casey Gross, Cameron Combs, Darrell Whitford Jr., and Gary Wright back down pit road here, all getting some extra fuel added to their rides as we'll get stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here in this one. The front row now being the 3 machine of Al Reed and Chris Muse here. We'll get ready for our first restart of the evening. Now, cautions do breed cautions in most races, but this being the championship race, drivers being on the edge of their seats and absolutely laser focused twist here on the evening, and it being a big super speedway, I kind of have a sneaky suspicion we're not going to see a caution flag till late in this race. I don't think we're going to see too many major pushes, major shoves. Just trying to be careful, be cautious here, especially on all these restarts and everything else. You don't want to make that mistake. You don't want to be the driver that makes that first mistake that, unfortunately spins somebody out or takes out one of our championship drivers. So I think each and every one of these cars are going to be absolutely, on point all evening long, right there, ready to just, be absolutely perfect here. And we may even see this race go pretty much clean and green without any incidents on the speedway at all. I know these drivers are plenty capable of that, but I know when the pressure comes on the line, those drivers that are a little farther back in our championship 8, they're sitting there, rolling in that 5th, 6th, 7th position, knowing that there's a couple drivers in front of them that are part of that championship battle, and their championship hopes going out the window. They're going to be putting that moves on. They're going to be being very, very aggressive. I think you're still early on in the race. I think the aggression is probably at a fairly low peak. Drivers are just trying to run their race, hit their marks, and not make any mistakes to really take themselves out of this race here early on. So I think all the action will be towards the end of either the stage or either the end of this race, as Chris Muse getting a good shove there on the outside as the 99 ride will take the race lead. Sorry about that, chat. Coughing there a little bit, choking on myself, as the 99 of Chris Muse will take the lead down the back straightaway. And you look at it, the number 51 of David Durand Jr., he is that car right there behind. We saw David Durand taking a little bit of a back seat there in the first stage, hung out at the rear of the field here. Now, here in stage number 2, he's rolling up at the front of the field, right on the back bumper of the 99 of Chris Muse. So a little bit of a different strategy here to finish this second stage off for the 51 ride. See if he stays up here this whole time, as he's putting a good shove once again to the back bumper of that 51 ride, starting to open up a pretty good gap between himself and Killing Beck in that 3 machine of Al Reed, as Reed and Kurt Sponsler hooked up down on the bottom side of the racetrack. Killing Beck and that 37 of James Garland have found each other once again. They're getting a great shove here to the back bumper of the 51 of David Durand Jr. They're going to be moving around, shuffling around the speedway here. Here comes a couple of the Elite Sim Racing rides down the bottom side with Al Reed and Kurt Sponsler down low as they roll out there on the racetrack. Taylor Made Mama says thanks for shouting out Hamiltron. Absolutely, always happy to shout out any of our drivers, supporters, drivers, friends, and family and everything else. To see Hamiltron over here on the YouTube channel as well, showing the love with the hundreds up in the chat. Also came in and gave me the heads up as well over on the Twitch broadcast. Says NBD, just another Jeffrey supporter. We absolutely love that. We love the hype. We love that, brother. We love that. Coming in, supporting the number 19 ride as the JRC race cars. Shenko Custom Diecast number 19 ride rolls right there in that 6th position. He's been right up here all evening long, but I think it's gonna be pretty tough sledding here. It's going to be pretty tough sledding here for the 19 ride late in this race, when there's going to be a lot of pushing and shoving, a lot of teamwork that's going to be happening. Drivers are going to be trying to get lined up with their teammates. He's just going to have to try to kind of lock himself in somewhere with someone and hope that it puts him in the right position. But if he's not at the front of the field late in this race, or even if he is, a big push or anything else, unfortunately, could get a bunch of drivers to leapfrog him and go around him here. So I would say the 19 ride has the most difficult job here and the least likely chance of picking up the championship here on the evening. But that being said, anything is possible, and I know CJ's won some pretty crazy races already this year. A very talented, very fast driver, and if he can find a way to get it done, I wouldn't put it on anybody else to get it done. Solo YOLO out there on the racetrack with no teammates and no help here. As you see him making the move down to the inside here of that 37 ride of James Garland, and you just gotta know that when he gets surrounded by a whole team or even a couple teams, and they know that he's one of those championship 8, all they gotta do is just kind of make the move to get around him, and they may just leave him high and dry late in the race. That's the thing I'm most worried about here for that 19 ride. But hopefully throughout this race, throughout the last couple weeks, maybe he's found a few friends, a few drivers that may help him out, may not be classified as teammates, but maybe, you know, drivers that'll help push him to the win, maybe help push him to the front of the field late in this race to give him the opportunity to try to pick up this championship, as things are getting pretty racy right now, and we're only, I do believe, just around 30 laps into this race, so 1/3 in here in this broadcast, 1/3 of the way through this race, and already the aggression starting to pick up a little bit more out there on the speedway. Drivers trying to push and shove a little bit more, drivers going a little bit more too wide, as they're not only just trying to work themselves towards the front of the field, as they know at the end of this stage they'll have to try to set themselves up for a big run here in those closing 50 laps. But if we see this go clean and green right on through, it could become very, very interesting here. It could become very fun to see these drivers try to navigate pit lane together, navigate pit road. You want to come out in groups, and if one of your teammates makes a mistake down pit side, or a couple of them make mistakes, or don't hit pit road at the same time as you, communication is going to be very, very key for all these drivers to try to make that same move towards the same time, especially for those teams. And the teams have 4 drivers, you got to be lined up, you got to be down pit road all together here in that final stage. So things could get pretty wild here late in this race. There's a little bit of contact right there. The 37 ride getting shoved up to the outside lane. He will slide back a few spots here. Looks like he'll try to follow back in line here underneath the back bumper of the 3 machine of Al Reed is out in front. CJ Jeffries going to push the 19 ride. The 51 ride of David Durant Jr. to the front of the field here. So David Durant Jr. out in front, leading the way here. CJ Jeffries there in second. Then we see Lance Brantlinger in position number 3. Chris Muse there in 4th. Mike Killingback there in that 5th position. All 5 of our top 5 drivers right now part of this championship battle. So top 5 part of the championship, but one driver we haven't said too much about here throughout the evening, still kind of hanging out towards the rear of the field here. You see that Midwest Motorsports 20 ride of Corey Crowell. Crowell hanging out back here. He's in the 18th position, just trying to play it smart. As little contact, bent out of shape there for the 81 ride of Anthony Garland. He's going to go down onto the apron here and going to try to hook up and try to get some draft here down into quarter number 3. This is going to be a close spot for him, as he's got to catch that little bit of tail draft right here. If not, that could send him back in a quick hurry here. Already at the rear of the field for the 20 ride. Is unfortunately for him, that is way back here off the pace. We already see Chad Lancaster back here actually in that Landon CMSB 02 ride. So Lancaster, with no drafting help out there on the racetrack, is over 3 seconds, almost 4 seconds slower than our race leaders at the front of the field here. So with no drafting help, you can fall like a rock here, and you got to be careful. There's a lot of laps still before the end of this stage break. You don't want to end up a lap down as you see these drivers still continue to battle out there on the speedway, still putting on one heck of a show here at the front of the field. As the 51 of David Durant Jr. at the front of the pack. CJ Jeffries right there behind him in position number 2. Chris Muse there in 3rd, and then we see Mike Killingback, Cameron Combs, our top 5 here on the speedway. Al Reed there in 6th. Then we see Johnny Thunders, James Garland, Lance Brantlinger, Wayne Garland, our top 10 out there on the racetrack. Is, again, I do believe our top 6 right now, all part of this championship 8. So top 6 on the speedway, all championship drivers here on the evening. So man, this is going to be wild all night, chat. This is going to be wild watching these drivers and what they can do, how they can maneuver around the speedway. As, once again, our top 8 drivers here, our 8 drivers in this championship fight. We'll get a good look here at that top 8 right now. Let me throw that up on the screen so everybody can get a look at it again here, as this is definitely something you want to know. As CJ Jeffries, David Durant Jr., Chris Muse, Lance Brantlinger, Corey Crowell, Mike Killingback, Al Reed, and Anthony Garland, all 8 of those drivers are in contention to pick up the championship here this evening. So all 8 of them will be looking to finish in front of one another. Some of them are teammates out there on the racetrack, so that may become a big different story, as we do see a caution flag fly. So Our first yellow flag on the evening is my boy Chris Pilo. Pilo coming in, showing the love. How are you, Chris? Chris coming in, showing the love. Dropping the love here in this one. Hitting that like on the broadcast as we do see our first yellow flag of possible incident out there on the racetrack. Take a look back and see what happened. We didn't see anyone really go around, but I do believe maybe Adolfo Castillo and I think the 16 ride getting together here possibly. Take this back a little bit as the 31 getting a great run down the back straightaway right here. Gets to the outside of the 21 and goes to split the middle here. Even the 16, I think they just kind of get tied together. And yeah, there we go. Our first wreck of the evening. And there you go. Hanging out at the back of the pack. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The 20 ride of Corey Crowell getting collected here in this one as well. Corey just nowhere to go as he slides into this one. Oh, man. What an absolute heartbreaker for him. Hanging out towards the back of the pack, trying to keep that car in one piece and out of trouble, and unfortunately just could not get on the binders quick enough. Still gets collected here as Gary Wright and Adolfo Castillo come together. They got up into the outside wall. They wash back down the racetrack and right into the lap of the Midwest Motorsports Hammerhead Gaming number 20 ride of Corey Crowell, and quite a bit of front end damage here for that 20 ride. Let's see if we can jump on board here with this 20 machine as he sends it in to corner number 3 here, and unfortunately just nowhere to go here for him. Just nothing for him to do except for hang on and hope for the best, and all of a sudden bam, just car quite a bit slower than him and just right there on his lap, man. Just nothing you can really do. I mean, he was rolling out of the throttle. He was trying to play it safe, and unfortunately just maybe not safe enough here as sees it, rolls out of the throttle, and it's down towards the apron there. Unfortunately, they come right down the racetrack and right onto his lap. That is a heartbreaker for Corey Crowell out there on the speedway, but luckily enough, he does have a quick repair, so he'll be able to get that car repaired and back out onto the racetrack. But unfortunately, I don't think you want to use that quick repair up right yet. I think he's just going to let the crew go to work, do some work in trying to fix some of that damage here before we go back to green flag racing, because you don't want to use that quick repair too early. If you get a big wreck late in this race, you want to make sure you have that quick repair. That way you can get back out there onto the racetrack and back into contention. So as long as he can kind of stay in the draft and keep on rolling out there, I don't think we'll see that 20 ride really use that quick repair up just yet. As Joycelyn, Miss Flower coming in, showing the love. How are you, Joycelyn? Joycelyn coming in says, let's freaking go. This is the best streamer ever on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. All the love, homie. Hope you are having a great day. Joycelyn, my girl, I'm always having a great day when I get to see you up here in the chat and cheering not only myself, but all these drivers on. As you also see Emmett. Is that how you say that? Emmett TV coming in, cheering on CJ as well. Emmett, how are you? Coming in, showing the big love here in this one as we're going to get ready. We're going to see drivers head down pit side. Some drivers electing to stay out here. So CJ Jeffries not coming down pit side yet. Same with Chris Muse, my killing pack, Darrell Whitford, but we do see the rest of the field down pit side as we will go quickly do a quick little break here, and we'll get a quick word in from our sponsors over at Landon C and SB. Alrighty, as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. Drivers Gonna get ready to get stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing. But I do believe this caution flag will bring us basically right to our stage break. I'm not sure if we will see another caution flag here in a couple laps. We may see a 2-lap shootout to our checkered flag here, our green and white checkered flag, to finish off stage number 2 here on the evening. So maybe the reason why a few of these drivers elected to stay out a little bit longer and everyone else came down pit road. So we're going to see them stacked up here for the first 3 rows, and then everyone else single file back there behind him as the green flag back out into the air here for CJ Jeffries as he leads the way. Jeffries out in front, Mike Killingback right there behind him as Chris Muse back there in position number 3. Cameron Combs there in 4th with Darrell Whitford, our top 5 out there on the racetrack. But he's got that 37 of James Garland working down to his inside. Now Al Reed will get down to the inside of that 21 ride as well as he's looking for a hole to try to follow in line here. But here comes a big move from the 15 of Cameron Combs. Combs jumps up to the outside lane looking for a big run here. Wait and see if Chris Muse or any of these other drivers will like to go with them here, as I do believe this will bring us to the end of stage number 2 here on the Speedway. The 19 rider, CJ Jeffries out there out in front, as we did see the 23 of Austin Smith getting very squirrely there out at corner number 4. Luckily enough, able to catch that car, keep that DraftKings number 23 pointed in the right direction, as some great racing around the Speedway here. But out in front, CJ Jeffries doing what he does best, and that is leading the field here with the Outcast Racing League, as he is out in front and he's trying to keep that number 19 ride right here at the front of the field. As a little farther back, we see the second lane trying to get a little bit more organized. Here comes Chad Lancaster and that 81 of Anthony Garland as the Team Syndicate rides, working to the outside lane here, looking for some good runs, looking for some good pushes to finish off stage number 2. Is down across the line. CJ Jeffries there will click up and on. That is lap 40 in the history books here from Daytona International Speedway. The lap 40 into the history books as the 19 ride leads the way out in front, showing them how to get it done here in this one. And I do believe that they use that last caution flag to finish off stage number 2. So stage number 2 is officially in the history books here from Daytona. So every lap from here on out, the only yellow flags we'll see will be for incidences out there on the Speedway before we crown our 7th season of the Outcast Racing League champion here on Peacemaker Gaming, as we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers. We crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. everybody give it up here for all these drivers. A beautiful crank it up session right there, giving you the sights and sounds around the beautiful Daytona International Speedway. As out in front, the 51 rider David Duran Jr. leads the way. Duran at the front of the field, showing these drivers how to get it done here in this one, as he's trying to run away and try to pick it up, this championship. But right there behind him, we see 3, 4, 5, 6 of our championship contenders right there on his back bumper, as Mr. Duran Jr. leads the way. He is out in front, leading the way here, but he's got our regular season champion Chris Muse right there on his back bumper, killing back there in third with Al Reed, Cameron Combs, and now Johnny Thunders up into position number 6, but we did have CJ Jeffries right there ready to pass here, as once again, unfortunately, actually, I do believe the number 15 ride is not part of the championship 8 here, so a tough break there for Cameron Combs, but he is looking to try to put his teammate Al Reed into victory lane here, and possibly as our champion of the season. So keep a close eye on those two, as they've been working good together here, and right there behind them, we see a pair of their teammates now getting in line as well. So right there on the outside lane, making some ground up here, Al Reed, Cameron Combs, Johnny Thunders, Kurt Sponsler, all Elite Sim Racing teammates, looking to try to get this 3 machine of Al Reed into the winner's circle here this evening, looking to try to push that 3 ride to the championship here. They're going to get a little broken up right there, as the 37 of James Garland will jump down low here. He'll split up the 49 right there at Kurt Sponsler, so Sponsler will slide a little farther back, as the 37 thinking about jumping up to help his teammate out in that 70 ride, is killing back to the outside here of Johnny Thunders for position number 4 on the speedway, but hanging tough there on the outside of the 60 machine. Looks like the 70 ride of Killingback will slide down and in front of his teammate there, James Garland. Kurt Sponsler getting split up here by his teammates is at the front of the field. Chris Muse kind of all by himself here at the front of the field, as Amit TV, hopefully I'm saying that right, Amit TV coming in as well, showing the love, and says, let's go CJ, you got this, cheering on Mr. CJ Jeffries out there on the racetrack. And here we go, green flag pit stops underway, and the whole field's coming. I thought maybe we would have more discretion, maybe 4 cars at a time, maybe a couple, at a time. Maybe we would see, 5, 6, 7, 8 at once. Maybe next lap around we see the rest of the field, but this time by, we see everybody head down pit side here. So all the crews going to work here. The only ones staying out right now, they just haven't came to the pit lane yet, is because they are a little farther back here. They've been taking it pretty easy here in this one, and it looks like they are going to stay out on the speedway. That is the 20 rider Corey Crowell, one of our championship drivers. Austin Smith, Joshua Neal, Brandon Puffenbarger, Daryl Whitford, all a little farther back here, as there's Whitford rolling on the speedway. He is currently a lap down here, but if he can try to get around all these drivers a little slower on the racetrack, trying to get up and through the gears from there, green flag pit stops, he may be able to kind of work himself back onto the lead lap, but he's got a few more drivers to try to get around here, as they're building speed down this back straightaway here. He may just be trapped a lap down, as he lost draft early in that run, and that put him way back here. So definitely interesting race here, especially with those green flag pit stops. Now things definitely really broken up, as out in front, Chris Muse leads the way. David Duran Jr. right there in second. Corey Crowell in position number 3 here, but he's lined up. He's got his teammates with him, and they're going to roll to the outside of the 99 and the 51. They have yet to come down pit lane though, so they still have to make a green flag pit stop here one of these next few laps by, because they can't make it too much longer on gasoline themselves. So they're gonna have to try to figure out a time or a way to head down pit road. And then we see a few drivers unfortunately running into mistakes down on pit lane, as you do see Kurt Sponsler. He's quite a bit of ways here away from the rest of the field here, as there's Brantlinger, he's at the back of this big pack right here, and about 6 seconds down here now already is that 49 ride of Kurt Sponsler, so a little bit slower of a pit stop there for the 49 ride. Gary Wright a little farther back from him, and Wayne Garland even farther back there in the 84 ride. So a couple mistakes down pit road, a couple slow stops, and unfortunately a few of our drivers now going to join that field of not having any drafting help out there on the racetrack. No one to kind of work with, no one to try to line up with to find that extra bit of speed, and they're going to lose a lot of time and a lot of ground in a quick hurry. They're going to be hoping and praying to see a caution flag fly as Corey Crowell finally gets to the front of the field here. The Midwest Motorsports ride and the Midwest Motorsports crew at the front of the pack here, but they have yet to come down pit side. They have to get ready for some green flag pit stops here themselves, so this could get very, very interesting here, as everyone else has already came down pit side. When they come down pit road, they're going to give up a lot of time here to the rest of the pack, and right now maybe the best time for them to do that is there's only a 3-car pack back here behind them. So if they come down pit side, Corey Crowell, Austin Smith, Joshua Neal, and Brandon Puffenbarger, you know, they're not going to really lose too much ground to the field for a little while when they get back out onto the racetrack, where if they wait until the rest of this big pack catches up to them, then they could be sliding back in a quick hurry and losing a lot of ground, as right now our race leaders, they got a big gap between themselves and this second little bit of a pack here, 2.5 seconds that they could use to try to keep themselves on the lead lap or in front of the field here before, you know, they go a lap down themselves out there on the racetrack, as that 4-car pack that they were running obviously wasn't working out quite to their advantage here. Maybe they're just kind of waiting, maybe seeing if they could catch that caution flag and end up at the front of the field here and use some of that pitch strategy to their advantage, but I'm not sure if that's going to work out for them or not, man. We've seen nothing but some good green flag racing here all evening long. 2 caution flags out there on the racetrack, one for stage break, the other one was for an incident on the speedway when we saw the number 31 of Adolfo Castillo and the 16 of Gary Wright get tied together on the outside of quarter number 3. Unfortunately, we did see the 20 ride of Corey Crowell get a little bit of damage in that one, but he is back out there obviously leading the way and not feeling the hurt from that contact, but he ain't feeling the hurt from some pitch strategy here, so they're going to have to try to hit that pitch strategy absolutely perfectly and see if they can use it to their advantage, but they are actually starting to pull away a little bit more. Now it's a 4-car pack back here behind this lead pack, so this lead pack out in front here, they're starting to open up a little bit more of an advantage between themselves and CJ Jeffries. As Jeffries leads this secondary pack out there on the speedway with Cameron Combs, Johnny Thunders, and the 81 of Anthony Garland there with them. And then a little farther back, about another minute and a half here, we see the number, or a second and a half, we see the 70 ride of Mike Gillingbeck, Al Reed, Adolfo Castillo, Lance Brantlinger, James Garland, and the 77 of Casey Gross rounded out the rest of that pack. And then we see obviously losing the draft here, unfortunate break for the Land in CNSB 02 ride of Chad Lancaster. Lancaster rolls there in 17th. Kurt Sponsler back in 18th. Gary Wright there in the 19th spot with Wayne Garland and Daryl Whitford rounding out our field. Whitford is the one and only driver a lap down out there on the racetrack, so he is hoping for maybe a caution flag here himself. If he could get that yellow flag, could get that waiver around the lucky dog and put himself back onto the lead lap, as Andrew Smith says 3 for Dale, baby. 3 for Dale. Absolutely 3 for Dale. Up in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get some hashtag 3s up in the chat here. 3s for Dale. 3s for Al Reed, as well as he sports that 3 ride out there on the racetrack here, as Taylor Main Mama says green flag pit stops. Yeah, green flag pit stops, man. They are so much fun to watch, man. Seeing these drivers come down in such a big pack like that, that was so fun to see them all head down pit side. I wasn't sure if they were going to make it through it. I wasn't sure if they were going to make it to the front of the field or not, or if they were going to make it through the field there or not. I thought maybe for certain we were going to see a driver go around or someone loop it or something of that sort, you know, heavy contact for somebody, but everyone doing a great job headed down pit road and getting into their pit box fairly cleanly, not making too many mistakes. Only a few drivers with some issues there during that green flag pit stop, but we may get some more as as Corey Crowell, Austin Smith, Joshua Neal, and Brandon Puffenbarger all going to have to head down pit side here rather soon. So to wait and see what they can figure out when they make that move down pit road. As right there behind him, you see that other pack. You see the 19 of CJ Jeffries, Cameron Combs, Johnny Thunders, all right there, as well as Anthony Garland a little bit right there with them. As right now our championship 8 a little bit more spread out now, as some of those green flag pit stops and definitely having their teammates a little bit more separated from them, so maybe more of an equal playing field here, not having teammates right there together, working together consistently here. So that could potentially make things a little bit more interesting, as you do see the Elite Sim Racing number 15 ride. He is going to slide back a little bit here. He's going to try to get to the rear of this pack right here and catch that little bit of a draft, but unfortunately his one championship teammate, Al Reed, a little bit farther back there behind him is Reed and the 70 ride of Mr. Killingback right there in 11th and 12th here. They are two of our championship drivers. You throw the 8 ride of Lance Brantlinger in there as well. So right now, 3 of our championship drivers outside of the top 10 on the speedway. That's not the place they want to be. Right now, they want to be towards the front of the field. They want to be getting some pushes and maybe in a position to maybe pick up this win, as Corey Crowell continues to lead the way here. Corey, one of those championship drivers here, playing some strategy out there on the racetrack with these green flag pit stops and everything else. He finds himself at the front of the field with 3 of his teammates right there on his back bumper. The Midwest Motorsports rides right there in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Then we see Chris Muse back there in that 5th position. Muse in 5th, and David Duran Jr. there in 6th. So those are our top 2 of our top drivers, 3 of our top drivers there in the championship. As there's our 4th championship driver back here a little farther back. You see the number 19 of CJ Jeffries, as Corey Crowell, Chris Muse, David Duran Jr., CJ Jeffries, Anthony Garland, Mike Killingback, Al Reed, and Lance Brantlinger. Our championship 8 here on the evening, as that 8 Bud car looks so good, says Andrew Smith. That 8 Bud car definitely does look pretty fresh. Unfortunately for the 8 ride, he sees himself right now in the 8th position out of our 8 championship drivers here on the evening. But everyone, I think, is just trying to hang on and hoping for maybe some more caution flags, maybe another way to get them all stacked back up, but we may still have some more green flag pit stops to try to figure this one out. So more green flag pit stops could make for some more interesting, effects out here on the speedways. You do see our lead pack starting to reel in this 49 ride at Kurt Sponsler. So Sponsler, one of the Elite Sim Racing rides, about to go possibly a lap down, as the NOS Energy ride is significantly slower than the rest of our race leaders here, as they're going to blow right on by him. He'll be maybe looking to try to catch on a little bit of the draft right here if he can try to slide in behind this 21 ride, catch that draft, build a little bit of extra speed and momentum, and join this lead pack. But looks like they are just going to blow right on by him. A tough break right there for Kurt Sponsler as he goes a lap down, now not in that free pass position, as the number 21 of Daryl Whitford will be in that free pass spot. So Whitford in the 21 machine, still in that lucky dog position here, hoping for a caution flag, hoping to get back onto the lead lap out there on the racetrack. And as Corey Crowell leads the way here in this one. Crowell out in front, showing these drivers how to get it done. As let's take a look here. We can get one of these drivers. We have a lot of drivers that thankfully put their webcams on here for us. We were able to get a look at that during our Crank It Up. Let's get another look at it right now, as all these drivers out there, a lot of these guys, man, 9, 10 drivers with their webcams here, displaying them for all of us to see what they're dealing with here, not only on the racetrack, but in real life. You get a good look inside their living rooms, inside their gaming rooms, closets, wherever they got their setup in. You can see them out there rolling on the speedway, what their hands are doing, how they're maneuvering around the racetrack, and everything else, man. They're putting on a great show for all of us to enjoy here and see, what they're dealing with if they're on the racetrack, how much wheel they're putting into these things and everything else. So a huge shout out to all these drivers. We got I'm not sure who that is down on the bottom side there, but he's got the Oculus on. He's got the I do believe that's Al Reed, I do believe, on the very bottom. I think. I could be wrong though, but got that VR headset on. Looks like everybody else running the monitors here, whether it's the triples or single monitor, or who knows how many monitors some of these guys have, as I know they've got some pretty crazy setups, and get a good look here at some of them out there and how they're handling the conditions here with 18 laps left to go here from the beautiful Daytona International Speedway, as we get them stacked up, racked up here, and see how this one is going to play out. See how this one's going to get finished off, as out in front, Corey Crowell leads the way. Austin Smith there in second. Joshua Neal, Brandon Puffenbarger there in third and fourth, as I do believe we're going to have at least one more pit stop here, ladies and gentlemen. We got at least one more pit stop that these drivers are going to have to come down pit road. So you got to be very careful here. We saw some mistakes, drivers paying that price here out on the racetrack. One of them right now possibly about to go a lap down. It's Chad Lancaster, as Lancaster rolls right here. We'll jump right on board here with him. We also had him as one of our webcam drivers here, so we'll get his webcam up there as well. We'll get a good look here at that momentum and the speed of the lead pack here as they blow by him already just through quarter 1 and 2 here. He's lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 car lengths. Now I'm going to slide in behind the 21 ride here. Whitford hoping to catch that draft, hoping to build some speed up. Looks like he's caught it just ever so slightly, and it looks like he may be able to reel in. He's going to use that draft, that extra little bit of downforce on the front of his car to reel in this 21 ride, and he will join this lead pack here at the front of the field, which is only going to make them faster here at the front, separate themselves more from the rest of the field here, as he gets a huge run right here. Huge run. He's looking to get around that 21 ride, as he knows if he can get in front of the 21, he can put himself into that lucky dog position, and that's exactly what Lancaster does right there. A great look at it as he gets the draft slingshot engaged. He works to the outside of the 21. The 21 kind of slides back a little bit from the back bumper of this 51 ride, where he was able to find that hole that he needed to slide right in to this lucky dog position out there on the speedway. Huge shout out there to Mr. Lancaster giving us a great look at it, and here you go. More drivers headed down pit side. There is our lead group headed down pit lane. So here you go. They're within their bracket right here, and they make it down pit side. You see all these drivers going around them. A lot of drivers staying out here. So a different pit strategy for Austin Smith, Chris Muse, Brandon Puffenbarger, Corey Crowell, Joshua Neal, and Adolfo Castillo coming down pit side here himself. So he's going to make a late race move down pit side, but we did see his lead pack. They were able to draw a pretty good advantage between themselves and the rest of the pack, and they were able to open up that bit of a lead here, as Chris Muse is going to roll out of pit lane as our race leader there from these green flag pit stops. Austin Smith there in 12th now, but second car off of pit road, and then you see the 20 of Corey Crowell, Joshua Neal, Brandon Puffenbarger, and also rolling back out onto the racetrack here, Adolfo Castillo a little farther back here. Unfortunately, he's going to be kind of by himself here. Not a lot of drafting help with this 31 ride. I think he was trying to jump up there and maybe try to stay with that lead pack, but unfortunately is not going to be able to hit it. And then we did see unfortunate break there for him. We also saw an unfortunate break for Chad Lancaster. As a slow pit stop there for himself, and a slow pit stop as well for the 51 ride. Not the 51. That is the 51. So he must have came down pit road by himself here. So David Duran Jr., who is a part of that lead pack, did not come down pit side with the rest of those drivers, but he is going to come out in the top spot here. Between those drivers that have already came down pit road or not, the 0-2 right there as well, going to try to stay in front of that pack. As here comes Corey Crowell. This could be the race for the lead here on the speedways. The rest of the field now down pit side. We see these drivers head down pit road. There's the 19 of CJ Jeffries, Anthony Garland, Mike Killingbeck, all down pit side as more laps here, more drivers coming down, as David Duran Jr. possibly going to consume this race lead. But here comes that pack with the big runs here. Corey Crowell going to take this race lead back away. So Corey Crowell hitting that perfect pit strategy here. He puts himself out in front late in this race as he looks to try to pick up that championship. Has a teammate right there behind him, the 23 of Austin Smith. And then you see Chris Muse there in position number 3. Muse, one of those championship drivers as well, looking to try to get the Fastenal 99 ride into victory lane. Brandon Puffenbarger there behind them in position number 4. And then Joshua Neal, who's blanking quite a bit here, there in the 5th position. He's blinking pretty heavily out there on the racetrack here. I'm not sure. Looks like he's going to kind of just move over, let the 51 ride go by, trying not to ruin David Duran Jr.'s chances here on the evening. So a good veteran move there by Joshua Neal, but still rolling out there, hoping for the internet to kind of get a little bit better for him. As right now, that lead pack gets that same lead that they had before, as out in front, they're leading this pack here. This lead pack out in front by quite a bit right now. I'm not going to lie. They are ahead of the second pack. See Chad Lancaster there in that. You see 3 of our other championship drivers back here in the 7th, 8th, and 9th position. That's Anthony Garland, Lance Brantlinger, CJ Jeffries right there together. These 3 drivers, unfortunately, not a lot of help out there behind them as of right now. They got to either slow down a little bit and hope that the rest of this field behind them can catch up to them, where they can use that bigger pack to try to hunt down that lead pack, or hoping for a caution flag out there on the speedway to mix things up here late in this race. If not, there's no caution flag. This could be a 3-horse race here at the front of the field, as 3 of our championship drivers with a huge advantage over the other 5 out there on the racetrack, as Corey Crowell leads the way. Chris Muse and David Duran Jr. all up inside the top 5 here in this lead pack. They are sitting there, sitting pretty, as you do see the 82 of Joshua Neal. Looks like his internet has corrected itself. It looks like he's holding strong now and staying pointed in the right direction, so good to see that, and he will rejoin this lead pack. And now the big thing is going to be throughout this race for David Duran Jr. in the 51, for the 99 of Chris Muse, and for Corey Crowell here at the front of the field. They just got to hope that they don't see that caution flag. They do not want to see a yellow flag where it'll bring the rest of our championship 8 back into contention here in this race. If it stays clean and green, I think everybody else is unfortunately going to stay on the outside. I don't know if they will be able to have enough time to catch that lead pack, as Anthony Garland, the 8 ride, and the 19, they have fallen back here to the rest of this pack, so they're trying to get a few more drivers hooked up here with them. They got about a 6-car pack right there, but unfortunately they're running virtually around the same lap times here as our race leaders, so unfortunately they're going to need to find a lot more speed in a quick hurry here. And especially don't want to be doing none of this side-by-side racing, as that's going to slow them down even more from that lead pack, as right now they are about 8 seconds plus behind that lead pack on the racetrack. So 8-second gap, almost a full back straightaway here at Daytona International Speedway. I'm not sure if they'll make that gap up without a yellow flag on the racetrack, so this could be a 3-horse race with only 8 more laps left to go the next time by the start-finish line. So only 8 more laps around here from Daytona International Speedway. Corey Crowell continuing to lead the way here. And now the big thing is with Corey Crowell at the front of the field. Corey's sitting pretty right now. Corey's sitting pretty. Austin Smith, his teammate, right there behind him in the 23 ride. Joshua Neal in the 82, rolling there in position number 6. He's the last car in that lead pack. And then the 9 ride of Brandon Puffenbarger is right there as well in the 4th position. So out of our top 6 cars here in this lead pack, 3 of them are championship contenders, and 3 of them aren't. And the 3 drivers that aren't a part of the championship 8 are all teammates here. They're all Midwest Motorsports teammates of the 20 machine of Corey Crowell. Now, that will mix things up immensely here late in the races. All 4 of those drivers can basically just move up a lane and kind of leave the other 2 high and dry down the bottom side and virtually just throw blocks and make sure that they can't find a way to get around their teammate in the 20 of Corey Crowell. So Crowell sitting in the catbird seat right now, looking to try to cruise home to a championship here in Season 7 of the Outcast Racing League, as his DraftKings number 23 teammate sticking right there on his back bumper. Unfortunately, it does look like Joshua Neal running into some more connection issues there for the 82 ride. Hopefully, it doesn't become a factor in this race here for himself or his teammate out there on the racetrack, as he rolls there in the 6th position at the rear of this lead pack. He's unfortunately invisible right now, but he is there. You can see the sparks off the racetrack here and there. As take a look at David. Bless me, chat. Bless me. My gosh, that came out of nowhere. As you look at the 51 ride, you can see just the sparking back there behind the 51 machine a little bit there. You can see him blinking every once in a while. So Joshua Neal, again, internet issues on the racetrack. They were pretty bad, and then they got pretty good again, and looks like they're trying to come back. It looks like it's trying to get a little bit better. Unfortunately, that internet connection being an issue for the 82 here this evening, and not the time you want to have it. As Playford Sheets coming in, showing the love as well, says go Cameron, cheered on Cameron out there on the racetrack. Caleb Ramsey, Playford Sheets coming in with those reactions. My boy Nelson John says waiting for the big one to happen. Caution's coming, never fails, he says. Listen, don't put that on us, Nelson. Don't put that on me, okay? Don't put that on me. I don't know if we want to see a caution flag, brother. It may get a little bit hairy and scary out there on the racetrack for the rest of these drivers if we see a yellow flag here late in this race, as the championship on the line only. You see here, 4 more laps left to go, that time by the start-finish line. So 4 more laps for the 20 ride. You're trying to pick up this championship, but can the 99 of Chris Muse or the 51 of David Duran Jr., 2 of our other championship 8 up inside the top 5 here on the Speedway, can they find the run that they need to try to jump up and pick up the win? I think these 2 drivers right now, the 99 and the 51, as much as both of them want to pick up the championship, I think the only thing they can do is try to work together here to see if they can pick up the win. They can't do it single. They can't do it by themselves. They're going to get left high and dry here from the Midwest Motorsports rides. The 9 ride is not going to go with the 99 to the outside or to the inside of his teammates at the front of the field. The 23 will try to block him as much as possible, and Corey Crowell could run away with this win here. So they got to try to get together. I mean, the 99 almost needs to just kind of back up and let that 9 ride go around him, back up to the 51, see if they can get locked together and push each other to the front of the field here, or else their championship hopes maybe just running away here. 1, 2, 3, 4 car lengths in front of them out there on the racetrack, and with them having nowhere to go and no teammates to help themselves out, they got to help each other out here. They may have to take the bullet here to try to make something happen. You do see the 99 taking a little bit of a look there to the outside, same with the 51 ride. So I think they're starting to think of something, but they should be trying to get together right now, where if they lose a little bit of momentum, a little bit of speed there, then at least they can kind of find that again. And a big thing that they could really do is back up right now. That's a big thing that the 99 ride of Chris Muse could do, is continue to back up a little bit more and a little bit more. Keep a car length or 2 back between himself and the 23 ride, where he can try to use that as a little bit of a launch, a little bit of a big draft to try to get a run, to get around as there's contact! Muse goes around! Chris Muse goes around onto the speedway. No caution flag as of yet, but he's parked here in the middle of quarter number 3. There is the yellow flag. Chris Muse trying to make the move here with only 3 more laps of racing action left to go. And we see our 3rd caution flag of the day is a single car incident here at the front of the field. You can't fault him for anything in this one. Chris Muse had to try to make something happen. He had to try to make these moves to put himself into a winning position. Unfortunately, as the 9 ride got to his inside, Muse realized he didn't have the run to try to get to the outside of that 23. Tries to come back down to clear the 9 ride, was just definitely not clear at all. And unfortunately, as that happened, he goes around and that brings out our caution flag. So, happens quickly, happens quite often, and unfortunately for the rest of our race leaders, they will see the rest of the field rejoin them here at the front of the pack. Luckily enough here for Chris Muse, you will be able to keep that car in one piece. Doesn't look like too much damage to that 99 ride. Unfortunately for him, though, is he will now be back at the rear of the field, and that may still take him out of contention. You'll have to try to pass a lot of cars in a quick hurry, including our 7 other championship drivers here in a green-white checkered, maybe multiple attempts at green-white checkered to try to get this championship, but it's definitely going to hurt his opportunity, but had to try to do something. Couldn't just sit there, couldn't wait for it, had to make those moves, had to make the move to try to get up and around some of those drivers in front of them. As we will get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing. We do have some drivers heading down pit side. Now this could be a pretty good strategy move if we see a couple green white checkered finishes here. Fuel may become an issue, so coming down early, getting that fuel, give yourself maybe that extra little bit of time, may put yourself into a championship run, you know, may put you into a championship role. As we do see one of our champions down pit side. That's the 81 of Anthony Garland. Another one, Lance Brantlinger, Al Reed, Chris Muse. 4 of our championship drivers all down pit side. You're in this one, so we'll try to get them all back stacked together and ready to go back to green flag racing. Now, that was definitely the last thing I think Corey Crowell wanted to see, as the rest of the field and the rest of our championship drivers will now rejoin the front of this field. But luckily enough for himself, he still has a few teammates here at the front of the team, so you can try to count on Austin Smith and Brandon Puffenbarger to try to push him to the win here into the championship. You see CJ Jeffries there in 5th, Killingbeck back in 6th, Garland there in 7th, and Brantlinger there in position number 8, as Chris Muse looking to restart here in the 12th position on the speedway. Always with the last 3 laps. Yeah, that was a big one right there. That was a big one right there. That's a big caution. What's up, Timmy? Mr. Taylor coming in, showing the love. What's up, Timmy? My boy, Rusty Martin. What's good, Rusty? Rusty coming in, showing the love as well. What's good, Rusty? How are you, my dude? How are you this evening? Coming in, showing the love, brother. How are you? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Sunday. Can't wait to see you guys back in action on Wednesday, my dude, as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. Let's see if we can try to pull one of these drivers in here real quick. Let's see if we can pull one of these drivers in here. Let me see if we can get Chris Muse in here. Hey, Chris, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth to get a copy. You are muted. All right, doesn't look like we're going to get Chris Muse in here, so maybe we can try to get another driver into the booth here. Let's see if we can get maybe the 20 ride of Corey Crowell. Hey, I can't jump into that booth and pull him in. That is so weird, brother. That's so weird. Let me see here. Get this one to work. Hey, Corey, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
I do.
Corey, brother, some great strategy here late in this race as we saw you hang back a little bit earlier on. This strategy, though, putting yourself at the front of the field, you were looking pretty good until that caution flag here. What's going through your mind coming to this first green-white checkered attempt?
Yeah, I just got to make it to the end here. I would stay in chat, but it is 1 to green, and I have my teammates with me, so I'm going to have to go back so I can strategize here.
Absolutely, brother. I'll pull you back up there here in just a second. Good luck out there. Want to just get your quick thoughts and words here coming to back to the green flag here. Good luck. Have fun out there, and hopefully we'll see you back up here and maybe in the winner's circle in a couple laps.
Yeah, thanks.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Corey Crowell as good sport hopping in there for a quick second as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. Didn't want to mess him up too much there, keep him in there for too long, but we will get ready to go back to green flag as him and his teammates strategizing, trying to make sure that they get their cars ready to rock and roll, ready to work here for the evening as that banner's definitely in the wrong spot. We'll have to try to fix that before we finish off the evening as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here. Green, white, checkered attempt number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Green flag white flag, checkered flag. If we see a caution flag before the white flag flies, we will wrap them up again, we will stack them up again, and we will go back to green flag racing and try it all over again here. So we're going to have at least one attempt here as down through the Geico restart zone. The 20 ride of Corey Crowell will put the hammer down, gets a great jump here over the 51 ride, and that's exactly what he was looking for. As now his teammates right there with him can try to help work the outside lane. Will they throw some blocks? Will they keep the outside lane back there behind them? Do we see them try to go 3 wide as drivers looking to find their way to the front of the field as the Midwest Motorsports crew out in front, but Corey Crowell has David Durant Jr. all over his back bumper. Look at him right here on the inside lane. There is 5 of our championship drivers hooked up right there together. All 5 of them right down on the bottom side here. There you see Mike Killingback, 3rd car up on the outside. Another one of our championship hopefuls there on the outside as here comes the 3 ride of Al Reed, the 99 of Chris Muse down low as well. 7 of our top 8 here, 7 of our championship 8 down through the tri-oval on the bottom lane. Here is some contact, a little bit of issues for the 84 of Wayne Garland. No yellow flag on the speedway. A heartbreaker there for Wayne as he was looking to finish off the evening with a big run, as Corey Crowell gonna have his hands full here on this closing lap, trying to hang on and hold off the rest of this field and all of the championship drivers back here behind him. Smith coming up right now. Is Smith right there? Is the 51 gonna take a look to his outside? Here comes David Durant Jr. looking for the race lead. Al Reed gonna try to make it 3 wide on the very high side. Out of corner number 4 for the final time here this season. Contact! Around goes the 20 right. Around goes the 19. More contact. They're crashing down across the line. It's the 8 ride of Lance Brantlinger who's going to pick up the win and the championship as they wreck down through the tri-oval. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what an absolutely insane finish down and out of corner number 4 back to our start finish line as the 8 ride of Lance Brantlinger will be our champion. He will pick up the championship here this evening. My gosh, what a run and what a drive here for the 8 ride. Anthony Garland right there almost taking this win away, coming home in position number 2, so close to the championship within 2/100ths of a second there as Brantlinger was down through the infield. Anthony Garland trying to run there through the middle, unfortunately just could not get there. You see the damage on the 8 ride as we will take a look back and see what happened here on that closing lap. Is my gosh, that was absolutely insane. So many good talented drivers, unfortunately just getting absolutely tore apart right here as a big run for the 51 down the back straightaway here. Let's see if we can play this in slow motion. And you see CJ Jeffries all over the back bumper of the Midwest Motorsports 20 rider Corey Crowell. You see Brantlinger coming out of corner number 4 here. He's in about that 5th spot, 3 wide here in position number 8. But you see the 19 of CJ Jeffries looking to try to go to the middle. Unfortunately, it gets a little bit loose there, gets into the right rear kind of the 20 ride of Corey Crowell. And that's exactly what spins that 20 right up the fence here. Is just that little bit of contact, sends him up the fence. Unfortunately for David Durant Jr., nowhere for him to go as he's just hanging on to it. The 3 right of Al Reed was trying to use that outside lane, nowhere for him to go. You see the 9 right up and in the air here. But you also take a look at the 19 of CJ Jeffries. After Jeffries makes that contact, gets tied up in a little bit. He loses a lot of momentum here. He's going to come down the speedway, and as he does, the 23 is going to catch a little piece of him right there as everyone bouncing off of each other. Unfortunately, it catches the 19 in the wrong spot, spins him around as you see the 8 ride going up. He's trying to block, trying to keep the 23 off of him sideways here down through the tri-oval. Anthony Garland, that blue and white ride right there, trying to work himself through it, trying to pick up the win, but down through the grass. The 8 ride able to pick up the win and pick up this championship. Man, that was a close one right there. That was definitely a close one out there on the speedway. As let's take a look at the official results here. Anthony Garland, 0.023 seconds behind our race winner and our champion, Lance Brantlinger out there on the speedway, man, as Brantlinger able to get it done, able to pick up the win here on the evening. We'll get ready to pull our top 3 up into the broadcast booth after a very wild run. Joshua Neal says, let's go Midwest Motorsports, get that championship number 20, and crazy finish to say the least, 100% Nelson, as Craig Michael Deacon, Craig coming in showing the love with the like on the stream, smashing that like in this one is, wow, yeah, proper Daytona finish right there, Aaron. Totally proper Daytona finish here this evening. Did the 8 pass below the yellow line? See, I'm not sure if that is a rule or not in here. It was definitely a close move, but I think he just gets forced down there, unfortunately. I think that's where that contact and everything else comes. I don't think he made any passes below the yellow line, because I think he gets shoved down here. Right here, he's still above the yellow line, making no passes, and then the 19 right as he comes down, I think that just kind of shoves him towards the yellow line, but the 23 makes contact with him, and that shoves him below the yellow. So he doesn't technically pass below the yellow line, and he also got shoved below the yellow line, and tries to get back onto the pack here, tries to get back onto the racing surface, but obviously the contact between him and the 23, keeping him bouncing around, but never made the actual pass below the yellow without being shoved down there. So 100% great run right there, and just barely able to hang on to it and see the 81 with that full head of steam, was able to work around him. If this was one lap longer, I think Anthony Garland may have found himself a way into the championship, or if this was Talladega and that start-finish line was a little bit farther down towards corner number 1, he might have been able to pick up the championship and the win here this evening. That was wild. That was definitely wild, 100%. 51 moved way too soon. Turn 3 next time, yeah. Maybe just a little too soon. But I mean, it's those last second, those little tiny mistakes every single lap, and that's all it takes to, unfortunately, have a good race go bad, a quick career, putting yourself into the wrong position. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys enjoyed that racing action, make sure you guys do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button if you're watching over on the YouTube channel, as we will get ready to pull our race winner, Lance Brantlinger, up into the broadcast booth here, as not only our race winner, but also our champion here on the evening. As we will get ready to pull him up into the broadcast booth here in just a few more seconds. Let's see if we can get him up here right now. Hey Lance, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Aaron, I do. Yes, I do.
Lance, brother, my boy, take us through those closing laps and take us through the emotions right now. As I don't know if officially they've made the call, but from what my look and my standards, coming across the line in position number 1 and picking up the Season 7 champion here on Outcast Racing League.
My friend, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. If it wasn't for that caution, we got towards the end and got the green, white, checkered finish, I wouldn't have been there. But luckily it came out, and I was just trying to, stay behind CJ there to the end, maybe get a run through the middle. I was trying to back off him a little bit just to get runs, and all of a sudden a wreck happened, and I veered to the left to avoid it, and as I saw CJ coming back across, he got me, and then I just kept it forward going through the grass. Next thing you know, I'm looking down at the scoring, and it shows me number 1. I'm just like, okay. So, but during the whole race, I was just biding my time, and I wanted to save it till the end. But the first stage got me up into the top 10. I didn't want to really be there, but I had my teammates around me, so we were just riding like we were. And but that ending, I like I said, I dirt tracked it going across the grass, and next thing you know, I see it in the scoring pylon. I won the race. So I'm speechless. I'm still numb.
Absolutely, brother. It may take a couple hours for the adrenaline and everything to kind of wear off and let that championship really sink in after a very, very wild end of this race. But we saw a pretty cool, calm, and collective, first, 85, 87 laps of this race until finally we saw that caution flag. And, we had that gut feeling it was coming. We knew something was going to happen here. Obviously, being Daytona, there's always something that's going to happen. And when we look at the front of the field there before that yellow flag that caused the green-white checkered, yet Corey Crowell, one of our championship drivers, leading the way here, looking to run away with it, as he did have a couple championship drivers in that lead pack, over 9 seconds between themselves and that second pack out there on the speedway. But out of the championship drivers there, no teammates for Chris Muse, no teammates for David Duran Jr., and Corey had 3 or 4 teammates right up there with him, so he kind of had all the cards played right there in his hands. He was sitting pretty, looking to try to pick up this championship, and I know he's probably gutted knowing that they were so close to getting it done here in this one. But man, to be able to just put yourself in the right position at the right time and by inches pick up that win over Anthony Garland as he was trying to roll, he was doing the same thing you were, just putting his foot in the throttle, trying to make it through all the carnage, and he was so close to taking that one extra spot and being the champion here himself. But you were able to just keep your foot in the throttle, keep that car pointing in the right direction, which was miraculous to see, because we saw you bouncing around quite a bit there, trying to, you get pushed below the yellow line, you come back up. Unfortunately, the 23 rides there to your outside, you really got nowhere to go, and as you guys make contact going into the tri-oval, obviously we see you get loose again with him in the 23, and then sliding down through the grass and coming across the line there by inches, picking up the win. Man, was an absolutely amazing race. I feel like you could get some pretty cool, piano music or something in there, like very cinematic, like finish right there. Play that in slow motion and watch that over and over and over again, because it was a thing of magic right there for you, brother.
I thank you so much. I just watched the end of that, and you're right. I didn't know where Anthony was at the time the wreck happened, and if I would have spun around, he would have got me. But
yeah,
the Lord above let me have it.
Just a little bit, man. Just a little bit, or maybe letting off the throttle a little bit sooner on one of those wrecks or anything else, or just hitting the brakes a little bit and trying to correct yourself through that grass could have been the difference between coming home in second or being the champion here tonight. But you were able to get it done. The God above helping you out here, putting you through and pitting you into this position of our champion here in Season 7 of the Outcast Racing League. And now, take us through, not only the win emotions and everything else, but you got a whole another year now to be crowned as our champion here with the Outcast Racing League. Man, does it get any better than that?
It does not. These are the best group of guys I've ever raced with on iRacing, and to be the champion of this league is an honor. And I like I said, I don't know what to say. I didn't expect to be here, honestly. I am good. I'm a good draft or a plate track driver, but when I got that start in the inside and final restart, I'm thinking, I have nowhere. I didn't know where I'm going to be able to go unless something happens. So, but thank you to everybody. I want to thank Anthony for a great league. My teammates, David Durant actually is a teammate of mine. I didn't know if you knew that or not, but yeah, him and I were teammates. And Wayne, procrastinators. I don't know how we did for the final results for that, but hopefully well. But thank you for the interview. Thank you for everything you do, and this is just awesome.
Absolutely, brother. Well, I'll let you get, settled in here, maybe settle down a little bit and have a cold one and celebrate here with your friends, your family, your teammates, and, all of the crew here this evening, helping you to pick up the championship after, 16 weeks of hard-fought racing, week after week after week. And at the end of it, as the dust settles, as the smoke settles here at Daytona International Speedway, to be crowned our 7th champion here in the Outcast Racing League. Lance, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack next season, and your run to try to back it up and go back-to-back here as our champion here at the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway in the Outcast Racing League.
We will see how we can do. I appreciate it, my friend. Have a good night. Thank you for everything you do again, and wow, speechless.
Absolutely, brother. Well, don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane, but much deserved, brother. And we can't wait to see you back out here for Season 8.
Thank you, my friend. Have a good one.
Yes, you as well. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our champion, Lance Brantlinger. As Brantlinger picking up the championship, putting himself into the position to pick up the win and being able to get it done by just a couple inches. Now, we heard it from the top. Here, our champion coming in with all the glory, all that momentum, all of the ups and downs he's felt throughout the season, become home as the champion. That weight lifted off his shoulders, being crowned the winner here of the evening. Obviously ecstatic, obviously super pumped, happy to be up here in Victory Lane. But now we take a look down pit side and we see our second place driver, Anthony Garland, who comes home inches away from being the champion here of the Outcast Racing League. Let's see if we can get Anthony up here into the broadcast booth himself. Hey Anthony, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
I do.
Anthony, brother, inches away from being the champion here this evening, man. Take us back through it. Take us through the emotions that you're feeling right now as you are so close to getting through all of the storm there out at quarter number 4 and through the tri-oval and inches away from picking up the win here tonight.
Man, I think this is back-to-back years. Same amount of distance. It was crazy. I didn't think that was going to happen. I didn't expect to have that last caution there. I don't know what happened in front of me, but I was lucky to have an opportunity at the end. And congratulations to Lance for winning that by what, 0.023 seconds. It's a heartbreaker.
Definitely a heartbreaker. Definitely one that's going to sting here for a little while again, but it's going to make you want to try to, pick up that championship more and more and more year after year. Year after year, having these close finishes, having that taste of almost a championship here again in the Outcast Racing League, being right there, so close to it. Definitely just going to add some more fuel to the fire for yourself, man. But a great run, a great performance here all evening long. And as you said, that last caution flag before the green-white checkered there to make the green-white checkered a thing here on the evening. We saw Chris Muse kind of just being in a situation where he had to make a move. And we knew it was happening. We knew it was going to happen as, Muse and the 51 rider, David Duran Jr., up there in the, that top 6 car pack right there that they had rolling. And unfortunately for the two of them, they didn't have any teammates. And to be able to pick up that championship, to try to steal it away from Corey Crowell, who was leading the way, they had to not only try to beat Corey, but Corey had 3 other teammates right up there as well. So I think just trying to make a couple moves, trying to make something happen there for Muse, put himself just in the wrong spot real quick and trying to get back to where he was. And unfortunately, the 9-rider Puffenbarger was already there in that position and just kind of went over his nose. Luckily enough for Muse, no damage and was able to keep on running here in the evening. But unfortunately for him, had to make up a lot of ground there in those closing laps to try to pick up the checkered flag himself. And we saw what happened there at the end. And there wasn't a whole lot of cars that were able to keep themselves pointed in and out of carnage there at a corner number 4.
It was crazy. Yeah, I thought Corey had it. He had his whole team up there protecting him. And I was looking at the relative to see who was up there, and it would have had to have been just Chris and Duran. But unfortunately, there was a wreck at the end and to cause the green-white checkered. But, man, this is why I love racing Daytona for the final race. We've got a couple guys in here that aren't fans of it, but these close finishes for the championship, like, that is awesome. And I'm sure it's exciting for the broadcast and it's fun to watch.
Absolutely, definitely fun to watch, man. And as we were watching that, those closing laps, we looked down the back straightaway before, Duran made the move to the outside, before we saw Al Reed jump up there to the 3rd lane and everything. We saw, our top, 7 of our championship 8 lined up together on that bottom lane. We saw all, 7 of you guys right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the inside lane stacked up, and it was pretty much anyone's game. Unfortunately, if you're the car that was 7th in line or 8th in line, you're feeling like your opportunities or your chances are fairly bleak. But I mean, I think you were about that 6th or 7th car in line there, going down the back straightaway. And somehow or another, you're able to find yourself, inches away from picking up the championship here this evening. Anthony, is a crazy, wild ending. Another great season under the belt here for the Outcast Racing League drivers, and for yourself as the owner, the admin, the guy who makes everything happen, and putting on such a great show here for us week after week. Man, we thank you for having me up here in the booth, but who would you like to thank for having such a good run and great season here all season long?
Well, we love having you, Aaron. You're the best broadcaster out there. We got to thank Schenkel Custom Diecast. They make our championship diecast car, so Lance will be getting one of those. We got to thank Landon C, NSB, or New Smyrna Beach. Chad Lancaster there. He does our team championship shirts. ESR, Team ESR has won the team championship there. And we got a couple new sponsors coming on board for next season, so we're excited about that. Also got to thank my son in the background here for having patience with me for every Sunday. I get a 2-hour break, and that's about it. I thank everybody for watching. We will be recruiting here soon, so keep an eye out and check out the website for updates. OutcastRacingLeague.com.
Absolutely. Definitely go check out the website. I will put the link into the description here as well. I'll edit that in there, and I'll also put it into the chat for anyone that is looking for information on getting in on the action and becoming part of the 8th season here of the Outcast Racing League. As I know you guys are going to take a couple weeks off here, obviously, take a chill, take a little bit of relaxation, enjoy some summer yourselves, and then get into some of the recruiting and everything else. So I'm sure we'll see you guys back on the racetrack here in maybe a few weeks from now, and see you guys right back at it and battling, elbows up racing like we do each and every week. But Anthony, brother, a great run and a great drive here this evening as you come home so close to picking up the championship, brother. A great run, a great season for you, and we can't wait to see you guys back out there on the racetrack.
Thanks, Aaron. I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and hopefully next season we'll finish a couple inches better for you.
Yeah, right? Take care.
Absolutely. You as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there as we got the link over there on the YouTube channel. Let's throw the link over onto Twitch and Facebook for you guys as well, as if you guys are interested in becoming part of the league, if you guys want to become a part of the action, whether or not it's as a racer, a crew chief, anything, if you guys want to become part of the Outcast Racing League, you want to become a sponsor or anything else, there is the website. You can find all the information to get a hold of Anthony Garland in the Outcast Racing League crew and all the admins and everything else. Or if you guys want, you can shoot me a message. I can put you in the right direction, put you into the Discord or anything else, and get you that information to get you in touch with the right people here to become part of this amazing team, a part of this amazing league of the Outcast Racing League here on the evening as our third place finisher here. I'm not sure if we have our third place driver in the Discord at the moment, as I know Austin Smith was definitely looking to try to pick up the win here and try to help his teammate to the win, as I do believe, yes, he is scored as our third place finisher there. Not sure if he's in the Discord or not still. I don't see him in here. So I don't see him in here, unfortunately, for our third place finisher, but let's see if we can pull in. I don't know. I feel like Corey Crowell is not going to be very happy. He's still in the Discord, but I don't think he's probably there. So I would love to get Corey in here, but I just don't want to pull him in and have them hot-headed or anything else. Same with the rest of the boys, as I know they're all going to be, the rest of our Championship 8 definitely going to be gutted, the same as Anthony Garland here. A lot of them having such good runs and great finishes here all evening long, as, maybe not the finishes they were hoping for, as obviously they all want to be up there as our champion. We see a lot of them in those closing laps get tied together, and not a lot of them making it through that carnage out of quarter number 4. We saw CJ Jeffries get tied up in it. We saw, obviously, Corey Crowell was the first one to get turned around, and then, you look back through it, you got David Duran Jr., Al Reed, just nowhere for those guys to go, and getting some pretty hard contact, pretty good damage there as ESR Team Championship. Yeah, ESR picking up the championship as well. So that's a big, big win for those guys right there. Let's see if we can get all these guys in here, the ESR rides, as see if we can jump into the post race here. Let's get the team up here. That's a good idea, actually. Let's get the ESR team up here. Hey, fellas, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Hey, how are you getting on?
Not too bad, fellas. Well, I mean, definitely not the way a lot of you guys wanted the evening to go. Obviously, we saw CJ and yourself, Al, right there in contention for the championship here on the evening, and things just kind of unfolding there at a corner number 4, and fortunately, both of you guys kind of stuck on the bad end of those wrecks, and not the finishes you were hoping for, but being able to pick up the team championship for Team Elite Sim Racing. It's got to feel pretty good, man, as you and the team, up here in the post-race interview, celebrating at least being crowned champions of the teamwork out there, and being the best, week after week, and being able to get some great finishes here throughout the team every single week out there on the racetrack.
Yeah, I suppose it was one of our goals from the start of the season because we have a good team here. So we just kind of leaned on each other and leaned on Cam mostly to help us through things, and Johnny and Kurt, and so it was a great team effort. We all got the points. We all had highs. We all had lows as well, but we were there for each other to pull each other through to the next race. So yeah, I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything.
I think participation had a lot to do with it. We all showed up as often as we could, and every point counts every week.
We all worked together and tried to help everybody out when we could, and that's what really helped us.
Yeah, like the rest of them said, it was good old-fashioned teamwork, getting together as often as possible, running practices, sharing tips, and just being a team, staying together as much as we can.
Absolutely. Well, teamwork makes the dream work here for you. And guys, congratulations on being the 7th season team champions here for Team Elite Sim Racing here in the Outcast Racing League. Fellas, who would you guys like to thank here for, such great runs and great performances week after week here in the series and being crowned our champion here on the season?
Definitely like to thank you first and foremost, Landon C, Shenko, and ORL. I mean, Anthony gives us the opportunity to do this. So I don't know, it's fun, man. And definitely want to thank ESR, Al, for having me this season. My goal the entire season long was to make sure Al got this team championship t-shirt this season. So thanks to Al for having me this season.
Yeah, pretty much everything Johnny said, and just huge shout out to Al. He's definitely a team leader and wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Same as John, thank our sponsors. Thank you, Peacemaker, for the broadcast, and thank you, Al, for the opportunity to drive and having a great first full season. Quick shout out to my friends at home for watching, and my wife for watching, and my folks. And yep, that's it.
Thank you, Aaron.
Absolutely, Al. It's always my pleasure, brother. Watching you guys out there on the racetrack brightens up my Sundays every time I get to load in here and see you guys out there on the speedway and seeing all your hard work week after week. And as you guys said, showing up, being a team, every single one of these races, not always getting the best finishes that each and every one of you guys want to have, but working together out there, enjoying your Sundays, enjoying your time together, and working towards being that champion, paying off for you guys here on this season. We can't wait to see you guys back out there for season number 8. Hopefully we'll see, maybe the same crew and ESR trying to go back to back for season number 8 there of the Outcast Racing League.
Can't wait.
Hope so.
looking forward to it.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our team champions here, the Elite Sim Racing crew, as our team champions picking up the win here on the season. As teamwork making the dream work, they're able to work together, they're able to put themselves into the right positions, and picking up all the additional points, stage points and race points, and having good finishes week after week, and having all 4 drivers continuously show up, not only supporting each other but supporting the league and supporting all the other drivers out there on the speedway, and putting on a great show for us up here in the broadcast booth. And for all the fans in the stands, once again, we cannot thank Elite Sim Racing enough for what they do here, not only for the league, but what they do here for each other, man. Picking up the championship as a team is definitely a big thing for them, and we're super proud, super happy to see them be the champions here for Elite Sim Racing in season number 7 of the Outcast Racing League. And we can't wait to see them back out there. We can't wait to see all these drivers back in contention here in a few weeks before we get things started, things fired off here for our 8th season. But as you guys heard earlier, we got the website in there. Go check out the OutcastRacingLeague.com website. Go and drop them a follow over on Facebook. Check out our sponsors at Elite over at Land and Sea NSB. You can check out Land and Sea over on, I do believe, Facebook, and check out their stuff, man. They make some amazing merchandise, custom cups, custom hats and shirts and everything else, man. They do some pretty wild stuff there at Land and Sea NSB, so make sure you guys check them out. And huge shout out again as well to Shenko Custom Diecast coming on board here for another season, one of our biggest sponsors here, and been around for quite a few seasons now for the Shenko squad, and having them come on board again for another season is such a blessing, and to be having them up here and supporting the league, supporting these drivers as they have their logos on every one of these cars, man. Always there to help each other out, always there to help all these teams and have them show up here, man. And we can't thank Shenko enough for being a part of the Outcast Racing League. And again, I can't thank all the sponsors, all the fans in the stands, all of the all the admin crew, Anthony, all the Garlands, coming in and having me be the broadcaster and being here cheering, not only their friends and their family and the other drivers here week after week, but coming in and watching these races, supporting myself and keeping me going here on Sundays with them. And no better place I'd like to be on a Sunday than here at the Outcast Racing League. And I can't thank you guys enough, man. All the viewers, everyone coming in, showing the love week after week after week, man, and showing the love here on the channels, whether it's over on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook, man. You guys come through and blow it up week after week, and I appreciate each and every single one of you, and I can't wait to see you guys back in here in just a little bit. We're actually going to call it there on that note as the racing action has come to a close, and unfortunately, we are going to call it for this one, as, man, we don't want to see the season end, but unfortunately it's got to. But we do have another race coming up here in just a little bit. Probably about 20-25 minutes from now, we will be back to Green Flag Racing as we have the Sling and Dirt Series back in action here later on tonight, as they will be going back to battle for race number 3 of the Sunday portion of their series, and we will see the super late models in action at Eldora Speedway, or actually Knoxville Speedway. I think it's Knoxville Speedway that we're running here tonight. So yeah, they will be back in action. They will be ready to rock and roll here this evening in just a little bit. So make sure you guys have those bell notifications turned on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. Make sure you guys drop that like on the stream if you haven't already. Make sure you hit that share, hit that follow, hit that subscribe button, as we're gonna be right back here in just a little bit with our second broadcast of the evening. But once again, huge shout out to Outcast Racing League, huge shout out to Lance Brantlinger, our points champion here on the season, and a huge shout out to Elite Sim Racing picking up the team championship here on the season, and a huge shout out to everyone tuning in and enjoying the racing action here this evening, and a huge shout out to Shenko, our sponsor, Shenko Custom Diecast, and our other sponsor, Land and Sea NSB, as we will finish things off here with a quick little promo of theirs, and then our Outcast Racing promo to finish off the evening. Hamiltron, thanks for the stream, he says. Absolutely, Hamiltron, absolutely. And from the back racing, definitely ESR team champion, absolutely insane. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you guys back here in just a little bit. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.